Mount Olive, Illinois. Population 2,200. Life here is unhurried, much like it was in its original founding in 1865. Located off Interstate 55, about halfway between St. Louis, Missouri and Springfield, Illinois, Mount Olive has a rich and storied history. Built on the foundation of hard work and family values, it saw its first boom thanks to the discovery of an abundance of coal.
This mine was built in about 1905, hired over 350 workers in here, closed in 1951. If anybody's ever been to the Museum of Science and Industry in Chicago, this is that mine. They actually transported coal and slate and all different things to that mine to make it a working mine in Chicago.
The rise of the mining industry in Mount Olive also saw the birth of workers' rights, fought for by Mary Harris Jones, or Mother Jones as she came to be known around the world.
5 feet 4, 106 pounds of dynamite. In fact, a New York paper once tagged her as the most dangerous woman in America. And she was an agitator. She fought for children's rights in the coal mines. And she said that when she dies, she wants to be buried by her boys in Mount Olive. She fought like heck with the owners of the railroads. And the one that she fought with the most was the one who transported her body back to Mount Olive.
Thousands of people visit her gravesite and memorial each year, just one of the world-famous landmarks located on this stretch of historic Route 66, which runs right through the center of Mount Olive. Today, there are many facets of life that generations of families here enjoy. As well as being a warm and welcoming community, Mount Olive has some of the lowest property taxes in the state, a crime rate that is over 60% less than much of the surrounding area, and a very affordable median home price. But what truly sets this community apart from so many others is the bedrock of its future, the Mount Olive School District.
Because we're a small school, doesn't mean you get a limited education.
We are very fortunate and very lucky and blessed to have what we have here for a small rural community.
We do a lot of technology use in the classroom.
From the time they walk in here when they're 3 years old, they're used to seeing a Promethean board.
We have a wonderful academic foundation that provides us with stuff that we would never be able to have without them.
It's so important for our kids to be well-rounded, and they get that here.
I just want everybody in the school to appreciate music, especially my students even more.
Our students here have PE every day, even the grade school kids.
We can use whatever subject. If I'm teaching calculus, physics, chemistry, physical science, what I'm really teaching is how do you learn?
You get to know your principal and you know all your teachers because they might be doubling as coaches.
I like the aspect of knowing your friends and knowing your classmates and just being a small, tight-knit school.
The students know that we care more than just the academic side, that we care about everything that's going on in their life.
I want them to find who they want to be in life, and that leads them on the path outside of school.
Every senior that walked into our doors at the beginning of the year walked out of our doors with a diploma.
I tell my students they can do anything that they want, to never give up, never think about where you came from, but where you want to go.
The Mount Olive School District comprises 3 distinct areas of education: grade school, including preschool and kindergarten, middle school, and high school. The seeds of learning are planted early on in the lives of the students.
Basically, with the 3-year-olds, we work on getting used to school, coming to school and getting used to, at times we have to sometimes sit and listen. And then we start working on lots of academic things, letters and sounds and numbers and shapes.
We're also implementing more structure and more academics.
Because school's changed a lot and there's a lot more academics at a younger age.
We're fortunate here that we have the opportunities to do other things outside of a normal curriculum. Like if our kids are interested in something, we can go off the beaten path a little bit. My kiddos asked me the other day, we were talking about peacocks. So we looked up peacocks on Google and watched videos of how they spread their wings and what they sound like when they say their calls.
Usually fire safety is in the month of October. And we have a volunteer fire department. We take our kids, we line up, and they'll stop the traffic so we can cross the highway. And they have it all set up for us. The younger kids get hats, and a
Some
packet of
stickers
goodies.
and cups, and they practice stop, drop, and roll, and they get the hoses out
They get to
for
spray the
us.
hoses.
They get to climb in and out of the fire truck. We're just really fortunate that our administration and school board allows us to do those things to give our kids those experiences outside of our classroom.
The mission of teaching the whole student is evident at the beginning of each day.
We offer breakfast at 7:45 every morning, so any student who wants breakfast can come in and have breakfast. We also, which we started last year, is breakfast after the bell, where we have a breakfast cart. All teachers allow them to sit in the classroom and have that breakfast or morning snack, if you want to call it.
We sit and have a morning meeting. We talk about what our expectations are for the day.
In my classroom, when you come in, there is a board and they have the zones, the color zones, and they choose what zone they're feeling. It's a way to express their feelings. And if the whole kid is not there and ready to learn, then they're not going to learn, no matter if I make it easy or hard.
We do have some flexible seating in the classroom where they get to kind of go around and sit wherever's comfortable for them. I have a couch in there with some pillows. They can sit on the couch with pillows.
We have our language arts block. We do our reading, our grammar, our writing.
We still do cursive. We still write in our journals. We balance all that out.
Science, technology, engineering, the arts, and mathematics.
I like reading and math. Those are my two favorite subjects.
One of my favorites is math. I just love math. I don't know why.
I really like social studies this year, and I really like our reading class.
And then they go to their special classes, PE, art, those kinds of things, and music.
I like music the best out of art and PE.
In general music, K through 5, we learn all the basis of music and how to be great listeners, how to be great performers, how to be an audience member and appreciate what we see even though we might not like it. In band, we learn how to listen to each other and be a team player with playing our instruments.
We try to incorporate activity, and usually we have our little sayings for our days, like Friday is Fun Day Friday, where they get to do a game. Thursday is track day. Sometimes they call it Tortured Thursday.
And then I always make them do a planning sheet. And they hate that, but I think some of them have kind of realized that if you do the planning sheet, you can work out some of the bugs and stuff, and then they'll work on their final project.
Starting in 3rd grade, we start our recorder, and we learn the basis of that. And then in 5th grade, you can join band.
I want them to learn social behavior. I also want them to learn the importance of physical activity and hopefully have fun while they are exercising.
I use a web-based program too to kind of create an online portfolio for them, so the students can go on and see comments that their parents have posted about their artwork.
One of the biggest changes for the Mount Olive School District is the integration of cutting-edge technology and the role it plays in the education of students.
For a smaller district, it's amazing. We have great technology here.
I can see just energy level too. They cannot wait to get to school. And the first thing, when are we going to do Prodigy? Can we do Splash Math?
We have Promethean boards that are awesome.
In every classroom.
In every classroom.
Our kids are one-to-one with their Chromebooks. They kind of get to explore it themselves.
Right now, students are creating a slideshow and they just learn how to insert a YouTube video that relates to mammals.
We do things like Scratch, which is a coding website.
It's a digital age where they want to be graphic design or they want to work on websites or things like that. So we want to try to expose them to those types of things.
Like school days go by like really fast and I just can't wait for the next day.
They're excited and they don't realize that they're doing work.
While technology is an integral part of a child's education, the teachers at Mount Olive never forget the mission for their students, especially at such a formative time in their scholastic journey. So staff members ensure that all students have access to the tools needed for success.
We have a K3 teacher, we have a 4-5 teacher, and we have a 6-7-8 teacher. So what we do is we do a push-in and a pull-out program. If a student is, say, at the 4th grade level but works at a 2nd grade level, then our special ed teacher pulls and teaches them at their actual academic level, not their grade level. We think that has made a big difference.
We work on reading comprehension strategies, we work on vocabulary strategies, we work on their fluency or their oral reading. Their comprehension levels are increasing, their reading levels are increasing.
When you take a student who can't read and they realize and they can read and they jump up and down, the excitement in the student, because they are mastering something. That's what teaching's all about.
As children reach their formative middle school years, they are presented with new and exciting challenges in virtually every facet of their school lives.
We'll give you the skills on how to think, and then you can take all this in and you can then develop.
You know, you get to see them, struggle, but you also get to see them find, when they finally hit that spot where they understand how to work through a problem and their eyes light up and it's like, I finally have it. And that for me, it's amazing to see that on their faces.
Science, we've been learning asteroids, and we get to the science lab, so we do projects.
And I also like to learn about social studies now.
For math, we learn exponents, square roots.
So in 6th and 8th grade, I have a traditional class setting where we learn about the math concepts.
And we have 2 math classes, which is awesome.
Well, we started looking at data really in depth. I noticed that we had gaps like in our junior high math.
So we went and changed our curriculum in our junior high. We hired a second junior high math teacher.
The second math class is for applying what they've learned in their, what you would consider the traditional class setting. So they really get to see how it works and where are they going to use that in the world.
By changing curriculums, by adding teachers.
We're now above the state average in math scores. We're now, growth is way above the state average in math scores. So that's the type of money well spent.
Mont Olive also offers a vast array of extracurricular activities to exercise the body, feed the senses, and awaken creativity in new ways.
We have softball, baseball, basketball for boys and girls, volleyball, track, and soccer.
I do band, I play the flute. I also do cheer, and I'm trying out for volleyball.
A lot of the students this year started coming in before school and staying after school and going out of their study hall time to come to band because they went to practice. There's a lot of drive.
Kids learning how to exercise correctly, there's just so many benefits, and it's just going to help them throughout the rest of their life.
My 8th graders every year, they get to create a mural. I still hear when we have family nights and that, they're dragging their parents up and down the hallway trying to find their artwork and things like that.
There are even programs that delve into the basics of building a life.
I've started elective art programs with my junior high students. So I've incorporated things like a cooking class or a cake decorating class or tie-dyeing, things that we don't normally get to do in the regular art class. When I was talking to the students and kind of hyping it up, I said, I'd like to show you guys how to make macaroni and cheese and, not just out of the box.
They come in as a timid 6th grader. It's just amazing to see what changes they will make, as not just even academically, socially as well.
I'm gonna be sad to leave middle school because I'm leaving all my sports coaches and stuff that I've had for 4 or 5 years, and then all the teachers that we've had for so long. It's gonna be sad to leave them. Yeah.
While located on the same campus, a new world emerges once children make the transition to high school. From freshman year, the teachers and administrators of the Mont Olive School District start laying the foundation for a life filled with new challenges and new opportunities for their students.
The mission is truly to provide the best education possible for all students.
They come in with a lot of preconceived ideas about mostly how we're going to treat them.
And if I can teach them how to learn on their own, then I'm hoping that they can enjoy their life as much as I've enjoyed mine.
I've learned over the years, though, to learn how to explain it in multiple different ways, or some people aren't going to get it because everybody thinks differently.
And she sits down with us and she goes, okay, this is what it is, and then it clicks with us and we just take off.
I teach everything from U.S. history all the way to a new study we have today, which is Illinois history, so the kids actually get to learn about how our state actually functioned.
Well, I teach accounting. I also teach desktop publishing class, there's 6 different software programs that we do in desktop publishing.
I teach journalism, we do the school paper, and then I have all the juniors in junior English.
So in one of our English classes, we take a pre-test and she can see individually where we're at and she can help us build our kind of growth up to get us to that next point.
You have to work for your grades, which is something that I think people definitely need to learn to do. If you want an A on the test, you need to study.
While offering a robust education for all students, those who are planning to attend post-secondary education are offered an abundance of dual credit classes that are recognized by many universities in Illinois and Missouri.
With the dual credit, we have 3 different universities that we work with and colleges. We work with SLU, we work with Lincoln Land Community College, and we also work with Swick Community College.
The college credit classes that are offered here definitely takes out a lot of the classes and the tuition that you would have to pay.
The Lincoln Land classes are a great opportunity for my students because they are at no cost.
SLU comes at a reduced cost. It's roughly about $400 to $500 per class,
which is a tremendous savings. Plus, we offer scholarships to students in need.
I really plan on taking as many dual credit classes as I can so I'm more prepared for college.
Obviously, the material is more difficult, it's more challenging, it's college level.
When students graduate from here, they can have quite a few college credits taken care of before they even walk off the stage.
We'll get to start our careers earlier than people who would just go into college and do 4 years. We would do 3.
Here we offer quite a few dual credit courses. I know I personally teach the calculus class, but there's also a lot of other classes. I know we offered some English classes. I believe some shop classes are offered as well.
For some of our students, they're choosing pathways that are not necessarily a 4-year degree, but they're looking at maybe a 2-year certificate.
Right now there's about 300,000 job openings in manufacturing nationwide. By 2025, they're expecting that number to go to 3 million.
With a couple of our dual credit classes, we work through SWIC to offer some vocational tech.
Boeing is looking for about 60 machinists right now, and so far have only been able to fill 30 of those spots.
We currently have purchased a Haas mini mill, which is a manufacturing tool that many of our students will start using a Mastercam product for. Mastercam usually costs somewhere in the neighborhood about $4,000 to $5,000 a seat. We offer actually 25 seats to our students, and it costs us nothing.
These are careers. Okay, these are jobs that start out with good salary, with room for improvement, and a package of benefits.
You know, math isn't for everybody. Math isn't going to excite everybody.
By us providing all these opportunities, it's giving our kids those career pathways.
Teachers and administrators in Mount Olive realize that an education is not simply about learning the basics. It's about unlocking the potential within all students and teaching them the ability to recognize and to react to a world with an ever-changing landscape.
You know, a lot of times we teach kids, this is exactly how we want something to go. You know, I want your paper to look just like this. I want your project to look just like this. And it's really hard for them to think out of the box because we've trained them so long to think in the box and all be the same. And that's not what industry's looking for.
One of the biggest eye-opening things is to see some of these kids just really blossom and take off.
I do also have an interest in graphic design. Because I'm in STEAM Club.
I've broken my STEAM club into 2. On one side, we are building a rover for the Lego Tech Challenge. The other side of my STEAM does graphic design.
I had a student, she had a sunflower.
I made this. It's a t-shirt, and I made it in Photoshop.
She spends almost every day in my room after school working on things, making shirts, making cups, making anything she can think of to make. And now we are going to send her to a business to watch how they produce shirts like this on bigger equipment. And she is so excited. I could see her going in and doing that.
A Mount Olive education is a solid preparation for students' lives beyond their time within these walls.
86% of our students have gone on to post-secondary colleges, universities, or military service. So our students not only see the value of education while they're here, but they're also seeing the value of what that education can do for them beyond our walls.
Chemistry is the science that they often have to take in college. My student 2 years ago came back and told me he was tutoring his entire chemistry class because of the chemistry that I taught him.
And to have kids come back and say, you know, when I went to college, you know, I would always be in charge of typing the papers, and the kids were like, how do you know how to type? And they're like, well, we took keyboarding when we were in high school. And they're like, oh, well, we were on the college bound. And the kid said, I'm sitting right next to you in college. I took keyboarding, and I'm typing your paper.
But we also try to prepare our students for beyond that. And what are they going to do once they hit that point? Because it's not the end.
As teachers, we have to teach so much more than just, you know, English, math,
history, we also have to teach self-control. We have to teach them how to be productive citizens.
And we have a STEP program to where they get community service experience both in the school setting where they can work with other teachers, and then we also allow them opportunities to go out into the community. They work at the fire station or the police station or the library as well. So we really try and get those kids opportunities to get that work experience that they need.
And teaching our kids how to make that, how to have confidence in that, and how to pursue their interest through that has been a life-changing event for some of our students.
When people discover all that Mount Olive makes available to each child, many ask how it's possible for a school district this size to offer so much to the students being served.
In 1994, I retired as high school principal after 34 years in the system and decided that it would be nice if we could find some source of income, supplementary income for the school system. We are now between $800,000 and $900,000 in grants given to the schools.
They know what they need in their classrooms more than we do. So it might be textbooks, it might be equipment.
Our K through 2 have iPads and Chromebooks associated with their classroom on a daily basis.
And now our academic foundation has graciously provided our kids to have 3rd through 12th grade with Chromebooks.
And in my math setting, I use it for different online games or ways that they can just practice a skill.
I mean, what that's done for me as a teacher has just opened the door.
I even have a hover cam on my desk, which I can't imagine teaching without that now. The list can go on and on, of course, just with bringing in technology and all the things that we have for a small rural school.
This year, we are implementing a social-emotional curriculum. Actually, the Academic Foundation has purchased that for our district.
To make sure that our kids are mentally sound and being able to make rational decisions when faced with an adverse situation.
All the members are either from Mount Olive, initially they had roots here, or they've moved here. So all of our members have a vested interest in the success of our school district and of our community.
We add new classes to our foundation list like every 10 years.
A few years ago, one of our supporters, Donald Kelvin, former vice president of New York Stock Exchange, said that the average teacher in the United States, according to U.S. News and World Report, spends about $300 out of their own pocket. So he decided he was going to make a donation to the school, to us, to give out $300 to each teacher, and he did this twice.
The Academic Foundation also works to fund the spaces and activities that students enjoy beyond their classrooms.
The kids are able to go to different outings, maybe to St. Louis University to see a play.
They don't only see the play, they go behind the stage, see how it works.
We encourage teachers to go at least 2 field trips a year now, and we told them through the help of the Academic Foundation and other resources that we'll go on more.
We want them to have the experiences, and if some of our families who are not financially able to do it, we want to be able to at least give those experiences through here so they can say, oh, I remember when I went there.
Our students weren't using the library. We started out with the students asking them, what do you want in your library? The main idea was they wanted comfortable seating, a place to hang out, and so we sat down with teachers and we started to dream. Besides a little reading, listening center, we wanted also to have a green screen room where students could make productions, YouTube videos, and then be able to put those out. We've also just recently added a puppet theater. Students not only can retell stories, but they can also act out other stories. The high school end was more of a gathering place. They wanted couches and chairs. So it's become a very welcoming, relaxing, but learning atmosphere.
We want our kids from our school district to have an even playing field. They're going on into a big world. They're going to have to compete in industry with kids from all over the world.
They see what I can do in this classroom, and they see what we can do in this school.
What can we do to provide more for our students? And we're always going to push that boundary.
On the surface, the Mount Olive School District is a place where children begin their journey to a future of possibility. But beneath the classes and technology and activities lies the foundation for its success, the bond that's formed among the students themselves and with their teachers and coaches.
They become your kids in a way, and it's really hard to take off a day because kind of like with your own kids, you're worrying, are they behaving? Are they doing the right thing?
I love Miss Carol so much. She's really funny and nice,
and she helps us when we need help.
So many of them, say that I'm their school mom. So, you need to form that relationship with them so they know that they're loved and cared about, and whatever they need, you're going to be there for them.
I think all my teachers have liked me, except, sometimes I can talk a lot, but that's usual for me.
We're a team, we stick together, we help each other, and we're like a little family, I think.
The friendships and the teachers, that's what makes this place what it is.
I know every single one of my classmates. I know their birthdays, I know their favorite colors, I know everything about them.
That's how it is with our class also. Sometimes we hate each other, sometimes we love each other, but in the end, we're there for each other.
And I know if there's anything that I need to talk about, I can talk to my friends about it.
All of our seniors have the opportunity to paint a brick to leave their mark on our school. We had a student who was a senior last year who was disabled and wasn't able to do a block because of his disability. And we had a student who noticed that disability. Our senior student who chose to do this asked him what his saying was, translated into Braille, and actually scripted out the saying in Braille and in English, so that every student who walks by that brick can now see that student's reflection on our school.
And at almost no time during the school year is that reflection so evident than homecoming week.
I definitely love homecoming week. I love the energy, and it's just so much fun. I feel like it does bring our class closer too, because we're all working together to try to win and try to get that spirit to stay.
In the end, one thing is sure. The future of the Mont Olive School District is bright, filled with hope for success, happiness, and a future of possibility.
I love sitting down and actually helping a student achieve something that they are trying really hard at.
Seeing them succeed and understand something is just, it makes your day.
We just want our students to excel and do well and feel good about themselves and be positive.
We talk about the right place and right time. We don't tell our kids to wait for it. We tell them to make it, to earn that, to grab that, and create that.